Battle through the firmament. Grand world. Chapter 332. A shocking turn of events. In the deep valley of the mountain range, the miserable howl of the devil ape sounded like the cry of a ghost. Behind him, Xiaoyan and the other two were chasing after him closely, but the Buddha Fury Fire Lotus didn't kill him. It was imaginable how terrifying the devil ape was. It had already severely injured him, and no one would willingly give it up. Strange, there isn't a single monster here. In the black fog, flames were dancing in Xiaoyan's eyes. It was obvious that after chasing for a long time, he didn't see any other monster in the famous Shaman Yin meridian of illusory spirit space. Blinking his purple gold eyes, Xiao hesitated for a moment and said, "Monsters will devour other monsters in order to increase their strength. Since this guy's strength has reached this level, all the monsters in this area should have been devoured by him long ago." Wu Shaogi, who was standing at the side, also relied on her sharp senses to avoid all the poisonous swamps on the ground. After hearing Xiaoyan's words, she also said, "Although the Shaman Yin meridian is one of the 5 major Yin meridians in illusory spirit space, it is still considered one of the 5 major Yin meridians. In ancient times, countless experts were suppressed, but it was too long ago. The number of origin kiss left behind by those experts who had fallen is getting lesser and lesser. It is not easy to form such a monster." Xiaoyan nodded slightly. No wonder this illusory spirit space was obtained by the 4 courtyards without anyone coveting it. The strength of the monsters in the illusory spirit space was greatly reduced. Not to mention, after such a long period of time, the experts who had fallen in the illusory spirit space had almost turned into ashes. Even if there were remnants left behind, the power would be greatly reduced. It was no longer attractive to those experts. After advancing for a moment, the field of vision in front of them suddenly became clear. They rushed out of the mountain valley and a blood-red sea suddenly appeared in front of their eyes. The blood sea was filled with endless yin qi. The surrounding cliffs were dyed red. The devil ape charged into the blood sea without looking back. When did this place become a sea of blood? When Xiao saw the sea of blood in front of him, its eyes suddenly widened, and its face was filled with disbelief. Xiaoyan and Wu Shaoqi also stopped immediately. The evil yin qi that was spreading out from the sea of blood in front of them couldn't be completely isolated even with the help of the origin monic qi. Hearing Xiao's shocked words, both of them looked at the former. Wu Shaoqi's face was full of surprise and doubt. Regarding the details of the illusory spirit space, he was sure that none of the students in the Yunlo Academy knew about it as well as the existence of this sea of blood. She had never heard about it from Elder Wu, so how did this red-haired kid know about it? When the old man and I came here, this place was just a plain valley. It has only been tens of thousands of years. How did it become a sea of blood? Xiao muttered to itself, using a voice that only Xiaoyan could hear. Xiaoyan frowned when he heard this. His gaze when looking at the sea of blood was filled with confusion. As for the devil ape, it had already jumped into the sea of blood. Goo-doo-doo. The moment the devil ape jumped into the sea of blood, the entire blood sea suddenly began to boil violently. It was just like boiling water, after which, a miserable roar flashed and disappeared under the stunned gazes of Xiaoyan and the others. The cracking sound of the origin bead also came to an abrupt stop. Bang! The moment the miserable sound fell, the waves on the blood sea surged. In the next moment, a giant bear monster covered in black fur leaped out from the blood sea and steadily landed in front of the 3 of them. The giant bear monster's height was about the same as the devil ape. It held a bone axe in its huge palm, and its entire body was filled with endless source corpse qi. The air around it was completely corroded. What is this place? How can a monster be produced? Wu Shaoqi subconsciously swallowed a mouthful of saliva and muttered to herself. Xiao's purple gold eyes could not help but reveal a trace of fear. This giant bear's strength was not inferior to the devil ape. Why were the Monic Emperor monsters that could not be found in normal days one after another here? Xiaoyan, can you use that fire lotus again? Wu Shaoqi bit her teeth lightly and looked at Xiaoyan, who was beside her, anxiously. Xiaoyan could not help but laugh bitterly when he heard this. Just now, in order to fuse with the Buddha Fury Fire Lotus, he had used up more than half of the origin monic key. In the illusory spirit space, it was extremely difficult for the origin key to recover. With his current origin key, he was afraid that he would be sucked dry before he could successfully fuse with the Fire Lotus. Seeing Xiaoyan's silent expression, Wu Shaoqi pursed her lips. A trace of determination flashed across her pretty eyes as she looked at the giant bear. Wu! The giant bear roared towards the sky. Its entire body was filled with an oppressive aura. It rushed towards the three of them in large strides. In its huge bear eyes, blood-red light surged. It seemed to be formed from endless blood ki. You guys go quickly, I'll block it. At this moment, Xiaoao also felt regret for its blind decision. Currently, Xiaoyan's origin key had been severely damaged due to the use of the Buddha Fury Fire Lotus, causing his strength to be greatly reduced. He no longer had the slightest chance of winning if he continued to fight with this monster. He could only try his best to delay it. As for Wu Shaoqi, she was merely an ordinary person whose strength was slightly stronger in his heart. She was completely a burden to him. As he spoke, Xiaoao's body turned. Purple gold light flowed on his palm as an ancient tablet was slowly formed. All of you, leave. I will stop it. A lovely cry was emitted. Wu Shaoqi was even faster than Xiaoao. With a slight movement of her body, she arrived in front of Xiaoao. Her slender arms directly struck the abdomen of the huge bear monster. Buzz! With a light wave of her arms, a fist-sized seal quietly appeared. It was Wu Shaoqi's ultimate technique, the Heaven Fighting Seal. Although Wu Shaoqi's Heaven Fighting Seal was extremely powerful in the eyes of many students in the academy, it was not put in the eyes of the giant bear. Xiaoao's dragon tablet hand could attract its attention. The bone axe slashed horizontally. The shocking destructive force caused the air to tremble unceasingly. The ancient tablet that seemed to be able to suppress the ages was directly split into two. A huge impact spread out. Xiaoao's small face turned pale, and a mouthful of purple golden blood was spat out. It flew out and landed in Xiaoyan's arms. This guy is even stronger than the previous one. This is bad. Xiaoao's face turned pale, and the tiredness in his eyes became even heavier. He said weakly, "That little girl." Xiaoyan gritted his teeth and looked at Wu Shaoqi with a stunned expression. The moment the giant bear sent Xiaoao flying, Wu Shaoqi's Heaven Fighting Seal also smashed into its abdomen. However, it only scattered a little of the origin corpse key that lingered around the giant bear. The force that spread out even pushed it back a little. The moment Xiaoyan lifted his head to look at Wu Shaoqi, the latter gritted her teeth. Her hand suddenly reached to her neck. In the next moment, red light shot out from her palm and a mysterious curse seal suddenly rose from her neck. Boom! The instant the curse seal rose, Wu Shaoqi's jet black long hair, which had originally been tied together, suddenly scattered. In merely a breath's time, her jet black long hair had turned strangely pale. Her exquisite face had also become extremely old at this moment. Under Xiaoyan's sensitive senses, the life force within Wu Shaoqi's body was swiftly being drained. What is going on? Xiaoyan looked at Wu Shaoqi in shock. Her face looked like an old man who was about to die. There was not a trace of blood on her face. In the inner courtyard of Yunlo Academy, Elder Wu, who was drinking tea, suddenly raised his eyebrows. He raised his head and looked around blankly. A trace of a bad feeling quietly emerged, but he didn't know why. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.